Hello. I don't want to make episode after episode being a bummer, but unfortunately this week, lost another role model, aspirational figure in my life that just comes hard on the heels of losing Josh Bear last week. So I will talk about that briefly. I promise not to dwell on it, and I apologize for kind of bringing this down, but it's just one of those things. It's another one that hit me really hard and really has me reevaluating what exactly am I doing with my life. Also, if I seem a little sweaty, it's because I am. I just sprinted in from some other things. Prosperity Council came back with their report. Not going to go too deep on that, but I just wanted you to be aware that's where my weekend is going, is with the Prosperity Council report. Because the other big news is a potential IPO here in Oregon, which could be huge given who is going through the IPO. And then, of course, if you stick around until the end, we will have secrets. Quickly, before we get into the big stories, I've posted a bunch of YouTube videos to the site this week. Astrid Schultz had a great conversation with Amy Germain. Juan Barraza spoke at, of Latino founders fame. Our friend Juan spoke at Mount Hood, TEDx Mount Hood, shared that. A few other conversations popped up randomly that I also posted to the blog. Our friends at AI Portland had something, I don't know. I was just posting a lot of videos today. Maybe Friday is the day that I post videos for people, including my own video. So we'll link all of those up, of course, so that you have access to those. First and foremost, much like last week, someone who was a huge inspiration to me, who I had the opportunity to go back and forth with from time to time, whose staff worked out of the co-working space that I ran. Unfortunately, huge in the tech blogging community, Malik passed away. As many people know, had heart issues. He suffered from a heart attack a while ago. He's continued to have heart issues and has finally succumbed to those issues. So if you're not familiar with back in the day, this TechCrunch is still a giant. But back then, it was really TechCrunch, Read Web, and Mashable were competing for kind of the news element. And then there was Giga which was Malik's blog, which was far less concerned with the news of what was going on in tech and like who got funding and why does this matter and all that kind of thing. And really just being thoughtful and analytical about what was going on in the startup world, in the tech world. And I took a great deal of inspiration from and his work, and I feel like it informed the kind of blogging that I wanted to do. He really demonstrated that you could be a thoughtful individual even in the frenetic news pace and could really spend time getting to the core, analyzing things and writing about them thoughtfully. I will never get to the level of thoughtful writing that Malik gave this world, but I'm forever thankful that he was here as an inspiration for folks like me to do a better job of putting words on the internet in a meaningful way. So thank you, for all your work throughout the years. Thank you for helping with True Ventures, which invested in companies in Portland as well as around the globe. And just thank you for being yet another aspirational figure who I sought to emulate or at least be somewhat as good as you were at doing the work that you did. So it's been a little bit of a gut punch each week with Josh Bear of Capital Factory, tragically lost in an airplane accident, and now Malik, who finally succumbed to heart disease. So, you will be missed. Still read your writing every week, every time you published. I read what you wrote because you were so good at doing what you did. So, and if you have the opportunity, please go back and read Ohm's writing throughout the years. Luckily, in the internet age, we have ways to go back historically and see these folks and the impact that they had. And the outpouring from the blogging community has been incredible and well-deserved. So please, rest in peace. Okay. Now on to news that we've talked about several times before. The Prosperity Council, the governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek, created this Prosperity Council to really look at the state and the way the state was doing work and figure out like what we could do better or where we could like reduce complexity or whatever. And they've spent all this time working on it. Only a few kind of startup-y people, like Diane Freeman, our good friend Diane Freeman, was on the Prosperity Council, got to provide feedback. They've released their final report. I've not read the whole thing, and I'm not going to come off like, you're like, but you half-ass everything. Why wouldn't you half-ass this? I'm not going to come off with like an off-the-cuff opinion on the report. I'm going to spend the weekend reading the report, going through the report, analyzing it, figuring out what their guidance was, taking it from a startup lens and kind of focusing on it from a state perspective and from a local perspective and what might be realistic, what might be attainable, what might be completely out of bounds. But I would ask that you just give me the time to do that. I would really appreciate that. If it would be valuable, I'm happy to record a whole video on just my thoughts about it or my concerns or what have you. So if that would be of interest to you, please let me know. I'm probably going to do that one way or the other, but I would really love your feedback as to what kind of perspective I might take or where you have specific questions or all that kind of thing. So Prosperity Council report finally here in early. It wasn't due till June 30th. They still had till next week and they got it done early. So I'm looking forward to spending quality time with that this weekend. And then on the starting very sad and negative, bringing it up a notch, finally bringing it up hopefully a little higher, more positive, our friends at Agility. You might have known them as Agility Robotics. They have this robot called Digit. It's a humanoid robot that works in warehouses. They have planned to go public. They are going through an IPO. Unfortunately, they're using a SPAC to go through an IPO. And if you're not familiar with the SPAC model, it's a little challenging. So with the SPAC model, basically, it's somebody who gets a huge allowance to go buy something. So they go out, they round up all this capital, and they're like, hey, we have all this capital now. We want to invest it in something. And people are like, well, why don't you be a venture capitalist? They're like, no. We just want to take all this capital and put it all on Black, all on 13. It's a singular bet that they do with the SPAC, and they've been kind of messy. There have been a few SPACs in Oregon that have been really messy, but Agility Robotics is choosing this path to get to being publicly traded sooner rather than later. SPAC is the way they want to do it. I'm not who am I to critique? I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. I just know the SPACs are messy. So I'm holding out hope that Agility's IPO, because they're not Agility Robotics anymore. They do robotics, but they're just called Agility. Agility going through an IPO, via SPAC. IPOs can tend to generate a lot of wealth for a lot of individuals, investors, founders, early stage employees, later stage employees, anyone who has a potential option or equity position in a company tends to benefit from an initial public offering. So that is all a good thing. So hopefully those people will be made whole, will generate some wealth from this, and it will be more widespread than a traditional like merger or acquisition where it's generally only the investors and maybe the founders who see a lot of capital. So, or any capital at all, depending on how the acquisition goes. But this should be one of those wealth creation events that has significant impact on Oregon, has significant impact on physical AI and robotics, hopefully has some upside for Oregon State, where Agility spun out of. If they did the whole tech transfer IP assignment thing, there may be some benefit to OSU, which is also receiving some interesting investment capital from our friends at NVIDIA, since if you don't know, and I would tell you yet again, Jensen Huang, founder of NVIDIA, as well as his wife, both went to Oregon State. And so they have been reinvesting in that campus to help them with AI and robotics and chips and all those kind of things. And so could be I hate the word seminal, but that's the word that jumps to mind. This could be a seminal moment for this generation of startups, much in the same way that Jive software going public back in the day was a seminal moment for local Portland startups. This could be a widespread Oregon startup event. And I'm excited to watch it, excited to see what happens. Of course, I'll keep tracking and I'll let you know what happens and who does what and all the things. But again, just like not to downplay it, but SPACs can be challenging, but SPACs are generally challenging after the IPO. So hopefully everybody makes their money on the IPO and then we can deal with that other stuff later. So that's kind of where we are. Super excited about Agility and Digit and really looking forward to where this goes from here. Okay. Oh, it's never end the secrets. This is secrets. This is the part where I drop out a character, and it's been a rough couple weeks in terms of heroes and inspirational and aspirational people. And it's really, I don't want to lie to you because we're in the secret spot. It's really made me fucking just rethink what the fuck am I doing with my life? What these folks that we've lost have had such incredible impact on folks around the world, on communities, on those things. And if I truly respect what the work they did and aspire to do something even remotely similar or as impactful as what they've done, then I kind of need to rethink what I'm doing and what I'm doing for the community, what I'm doing for you as a founder, what I'm doing for you. And it's just, I'm all up in my feels and really thinking through some things. And so please don't be surprised if I suddenly re-engage with community in a heavy way in the coming weeks and months. I feel like that's something I need to do. I'm really, this is like an existential thing. I don't know that I can put a finer point on that, but I love the startup community here and would really like to have more impact and to be doing more work to make things easier for you than I have in a while. And I was already kind of down that path in the past couple of weeks of just reinforced that or accelerated that. So look forward to seeing you out in the community. Other secrets, I, of course, had the opportunity to catch up with Mitch Doherty, my co-founder at Built Oregon, which is great. It's always, we're both on different paths now. We used to get to work together so closely. And Mitch, if you don't know, is the head of the Portland office of small business, working for Prosper, and so it's always good to get the chance to catch up with him. And then I also got to go to a Built get together that he was at and helped organize. Got to catch up with a couple founders, even somebody who's rethinking, kind of reinvigorating an industry, specifically linen here in the state, that really impressed by. I've been, a couple people reached out to me, looking for advice on mergers and acquisitions and that kind of thing. Looking forward to talking to them next week. And then also got the chance to catch up with Skip Newberry, the head of the Technology Association of Oregon. And so all in all, some real good contacts and insights this week. Please, nobody else. Okay. Please, nobody else. A couple big losses that have me totally fucking wrecked. So yeah, I hope you're doing okay. Please hang in there. Please take care of yourself. We got the 250th anniversary of the United States coming up here next week, and I hope you get some downtime. I hope you get the chance to get away. I hope, again, take care of yourself. Hug your loved ones. Hug your kids. It's so much. It's like I don't know when this ends, and that's really hitting me really hard because these people were gone way too soon, and like, what if I'm gone? So like, I gotta do more work. So sorry, secrets have been so long. Thanks for putting up with me tearing up for multiple episodes now at this point, and let's hope that next week is all fucking unicorns and rainbows and happy shit. Please take care of yourself. Hang in there. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.